There shouldn't be any secrets between friends, Jake. I do want to be your friend.
Do something.
All right. We'll tell you the truth.
I'm listening.
We weren't supposed to divulge this, but since you left us no choice, we're working for Starfleet intelligence.
Oh, no.
Forget about it, Nog. We have to tell him. We're investigating the man whose picture is in your hand right now. Until yesterday, that man, one Willie Mays, did not exist in any historical documents. Then, in the blink of an eye, that card appeared on the station. And at that same moment, a bust of Willie Mays appeared at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. There's only one explanation. We suspect that this man is from the future.
A time traveler?
That's right. And so far, that card is the only link we have to him. We must find out what he's planning to do in the past, what he may have done already. We need that card. The entire future of the galaxy may depend on us tracking down Willie Mays and stopping him.
I believe you.
You do?
Yes. That is, I believe your first story. That you're two innocent boys trying to give a gift to Captain Sisko.
You're very wise.
Welcome, everyone, to Deep Space Pride, a gay Star Trek podcast. I am one of your hosts, and with me is Mike Thurlow. Mike, you're here with me.
I am here with you, and I'm here with you, Johnson Lee. You didn't even introduce yourself.
Oh, did I not?
So you did not. You totally skipped out. You didn't say.
I didn't say what my name was?
No.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Well,
yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, Johnson, and with me is Mike.
We are here live doing another episode
yes.
on Underappreciated Deep Space Nine.
Yes, we are here. And for those of you that may have listened to our last recording, you know that we did some pre-recording because as of this moment, if you're listening, Mike and Dennis are on vacation in Hawaii/Napa.
Yeah, I think at this
2 weeks away.
Yeah, we'll still be in Hawaii for when this episode drops.
Yes. So we decided to record a little bit earlier, bank some episodes, so that Mike wouldn't have to focus too much on recording and editing during his time off. So it is currently today. It is July 5th today.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will this will stand the test of time for the next few weeks, and I don't know. Hopefully, nothing crazy happens between now and then that would make this recording awkward or anything like that.
I don't think so. I mean, Deep Space Nine has been out for 25 years. I think it'll be fine. Yeah.
Well, we can't talk about any current events. No current news.
No current news.
Yeah, because this episode needs to, whether it be posted on July 21st or December 31st, it should stand the test of time that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's it's talking about a great episode.
Yeah. Why are you looking at me weird?
Oh, I don't know. No, I'm not. No.
Okay. You're like staring at me with
I was thinking
your dead eyes.
How are we gonna transition into this?
Well, first we want to start with I don't know what we want to call it. Is it our it's no longer our Pride prompt because by this point Pride is long over. So it's kind of just our episode prompt
Yeah,
where we just wanted to chat a little bit before we actually dive into the episode.
Yeah.
And this week we wanted to just talk about what ship would you want to captain if you were a captain? I guess that's somewhat along the lines of the question that you came up with, Mike.
Yeah.
So yeah, why don't you start? So if you're able to captain a starship, what would it be?
Well, my favorite starship has always been the refit of the Enterprise, NCC 1701.
Oh, okay.
I just love that. I mean, the A is not terribly dissimilar.
Yeah,
to
like
it.
so the motion picture one.
Yeah, the motion
Okay.
picture one has always been my favorite Enterprise. Even though when Next Generation first came out, the Enterprise D was incredibly futuristic and pretty awesome. And in fact, this week we're talking about In the Cards, and after I watched In the Cards, I actually watched Call to Arms, which is the season finale of season 5.
Right.
And you get at the end of that episode, you get to see the Defiant and the Klingon Martok ship join the fleet.
Right.
And I just had fun looking at all the different starships that they had in there.
Yeah.
One of the things that would be great is if they ever made a high definition version of Deep Space Nine, to see those scenes would be amazing. With all
Well,
the
in the
ships.
documentary, they did remember they transitioned to high and to HD, like a few scenes, like a few of the battle scenes.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. But it was cool to see all the starships, but obviously the Enterprise refit was not part of that. That was definitely too old, and they were long retired. But there were obviously the Excelsiors were still there. But yeah, I just always really liked that ship, and I even as much as so much so that I think that the way that they designed the Enterprise and Discovery was very similar, and also looked really great. So I wouldn't mind actually being, captaining the Pike's Enterprise from the Discovery era. So
It definitely looks more futuristic than the old, like the
yeah,
the old
absolutely,
version.
yeah. It really does. They did a really nice job with that bridge on the Enterprise. So yeah,
It's still all the primary colors and
still very colorful. But yeah. Now that we're talking about this, I sort of really do like that version of the Enterprise as well. But yeah, that would one thing I loved about the Pike's Enterprise from Discovery is that they have like the corridor behind the bridge. Like you could almost and maybe there are bathrooms back there. I don't know what's actually behind them because when you come onto the bridge in that, there's definitely corridors before you get.
So speaking of, I was rewatching JJ Star Trek.
in
2009.
Yeah.
Last night because
Oh, wow.
Netflix knows me and
And it was
it was suggested, and I was like,
yes.
oh, why not?
Yeah.
And very similar. So there's you can take a turbo lift to the bridge, but then there's also just a corridor that leads directly onto the bridge as well, which I'd never really noticed before. But there is you can literally just run, because there's a scene when Kirk is running to the bridge to tell them that it was the Narada, because it was the whole allergic reaction, that whole whole scene, and McCoy and Uhura are running, and he's trying to make it to the bridge, and he doesn't take the turbo lift to the bridge. He literally they're running down a corridor and just run into the bridge, and I never really noticed that, and I was like, wait a minute, what is this whole area behind the bridge that. Because usually it is just a turbo lift and to do Deck 1.
Yep.
So that was also interesting because that was the first time I noticed it.
Yeah, and Discovery sort of takes that off as well a little bit, with the ready room is sort of off of that, and then the eventual conference room, or is it the same thing? I don't remember, but the ready room is sort of
but I don't think there's this huge. Literally, there's
huge
a
corridor.
huge section.
Yeah.
It looks like there's other rooms or something.
Yeah, but do you remember in the middle of the JJ Enterprise that when they're in the middle, it happens? I think it's in Beyond, maybe. Or I forget which movie it was in, but you're in this circular area where you can see all the levels up. It's like this big open. It's like you're in a hotel and you're in the atrium and they're hanging on as the it's Into Darkness.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Into Darkness. Remember when Chekhov and Kirk are hanging on as the ship loses balance and goes into the atmosphere? I think that's the scene.
No, I don't remember. I need to rewatch. It's been a while.
Yeah, so there's definitely this central corridor that is sort of like a hotel atrium, which is weird. And I almost think that the circular part is almost like the Guggenheim, or is it the Guggenheim that does the circular?
It's the Guggenheim.
Something like that. So I think there might, there are different access points to each level. Maybe they ran up all of these circles and it was just easier. Who knows? Depending on, they were coming from some weird place in communications that
I don't know. Again, it would be nice to see some cross sections of like all these ships,
which they can't do because they've totally blown out all of these perspectives and just they've sort of fit the sets, whatever locations they've chosen for the sets, into the ship itself.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Like even in the JJ one, one of the biggest criticisms about the new Enterprise is the engine room, which is a boiler room.
Yes.
And it's this massive space.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where does this fit?
Exactly. Where does that fit? And so where does it fit? And
what's happening?
Oh, sorry, the computer became unplugged. It's just, and I think they made that in a refinery, like a beer refinery or something like that. So definitely a weird thing. But going back to the Enterprise, so there are 3 versions of the Enterprise, but I think for me it would definitely be the refit, and then Pike's Enterprise from Discovery. Those are both beautiful ships. So I'd want to captain one of those.
Okay.
What about you?
I think I gotta go with the Enterprise D.
I thought you would.
I need top of the line luxury.
it is. It's like a luxury liner.
I want
basically
all the amenities.
Yeah.
So that I was thinking about this, and I think that the JJ reboot of the Enterprise and also the new Enterprise from Discovery, those are pretty nice ships, but there's nothing as easy on the eyes as the Enterprise D. It's a luxury liner. It's majestic. It's comfortable. No glaring lights like there are on the JJ Enterprise.
Yeah,
a lot of very bright lights.
No lens flares.
Yeah, it's very bright.
Well, except for the reflection of the lights from seasons 1 and 2 when the
lighting on the set.
Yeah,
it
was so bad. Yeah.
So, I gotta go with the Enterprise D. It's still one of my favorite ships.
Yeah.
It's just so well designed, aesthetically pleasing, and there's just a lot of space.
Yeah, it's definitely different. The Enterprise E sort of falls back into the
It's more militaristic.
Yeah.
But that was also its purpose, right?
Yeah. Well, is it a military or is it more of an exploration, like a deep space
exploration? I thought it was similar to the Defiant, where it was meant to potentially repel a Borg invasion or something like that.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, there really is no ship like the Enterprise D. They never designed a similar ship. They sort of went backwards when they created the Ambassador class.
These make it they're just more compact, I think. More compact, more utilitarian.
Yeah.
Versus the Enterprise D, which is just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's large. 1,000 crew people.
It's massive, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it separates nicely into 2 parts.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it needs to.
Yeah.
Although, as a ship that separates, I think while the Enterprise D does that nicely, the Prometheus does it even better.
The Prometheus from Voyager?
Yes, the trivector.
Yes, the
pattern.
Prometheus,
that separates nicely. But yeah.
From Message in a Bottle.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Yep, Message in a Bottle. Correct. Yes.
Yes.
A great episode.
That was cool. That was
a great episode, minus Andy Dick or whatever his name
Which
is.
I liked him.
He was all right in the episode. Yes. If you can get by him.
But the Prometheus also had, as I recall, the sets. It was very Enterprise. It was I would say this hybrid between Voyager and Enterprise D.
Yeah.
Like the set colors is more beigey, if I recall. Even like Sick Bay, do you remember?
Beigey, but also like this blue that is kind of...
There's some beige, some blue. So that's why it was like
Yeah.
a marrying between
Yeah.
the Enterprise D, which was a lot of beige, like very neutral colors in the corridors.
Yeah.
But then the gray/blue of Voyager. So it was like this mix in between.
Yeah,
which I
it definitely was.
was interesting, and to me, it looked more comfortable than Voyager, because Voyager has this like, because of the colors, it feels colder.
It's also a smaller ship.
It's
like
also
Voyager.
yes.
I mean, this is a big ship that breaks up into 3 attack ships, basically. I mean,
that was cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
but the Enterprise D is a great ship. Yeah, I think that's a nice choice.
Yes.
Yeah, some great ships, and hopefully we'll get to see some more. We have yet to see what the interiors of any of the 32nd century ships look like.
I know.
So that would be cool to see, hopefully, in this season of season 4 of Discovery.
Cool. So I think that about does it for our discussion when it comes to some of our favorite ships in Star Trek and the ones that we want to command.
Yeah.
So why don't we get into our underappreciated DS9 episode of the week?
All right. Sounds good.
Come on, Nog. No, why not? It's my money, Jake. If you want to bid at the auction, use your own money.
I'm human. I don't have any money.
It's not my fault your species decided to abandon currency-based economics in favor of some philosophy of self-enhancement.
Hey, watch it. There's nothing wrong with our philosophy. We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity.
What does that mean exactly?
It means we don't need money.
Well, if you don't need money, then you certainly don't need mine.
So this was kind of my pick, but it was technically your pick, but I made a suggestion, and you were too busy to even look at other options.
I did scroll through. I mean, obviously, In the Cards is a great episode, and I do think that people kind of overlook it as we get to Call to Arms.
Right.
It's certainly shadowed by that episode.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of other things going on in season 5, obviously.
Yeah, there are.
But this was definitely as the penultimate episode. I really liked it. It was like a moment of levity before things get super serious.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, Mike, since you have it up, do you want to read the episode synopsis? Are you going with Netflix again?
I am, because this one actually does it fairly well. Hearing that Quark plans to auction off antiquities that include a vintage Willie Mays baseball card, Jake decides to obtain the card for his father. And the part about that, why he wants to get it for his father is shown to us in the opening scene where everybody is so depressed. Mm-hmm. And so it's actually kind of funny how you see that at the beginning and then you see Sisko talking at the end about how suddenly morale has picked up. And the whole reason of all of that is because of this whole story about Jake and Nog trying to get this Willie Mays baseball card.
Yeah, it was great. So what did you think about this episode?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed, I think one of the things that Deep Space Nine does really well is the pairings of characters. And, we talked last week about Kira and Dukat. Mm-hmm. This week we're talking about Jake and Nog. I just think they really did this well in Deep Space Nine overall. I think that when they have these episodes that basically just show the interaction of two of their main characters, or a main character and a not main character, in both these cases actually, because technically Jake Sisko was one of the top billers and Nog wasn't, Aaron Eisenberg, but who sadly isn't with us any longer. Mm-hmm. But I think this is just another example of how well they can if they focus enough on two characters, they can write a really awesome episode.
Yeah.
And obviously we have the addition of what's going on with Bajor and the treaty. We have Kai Wynn thrown in here just for shits and giggles.
I
Really.
love Kai Wynn.
I know you do, and I'm like Sisko. Like, I would rather be in any other place in the universe than in the presence of Kai Wynn.
But here she's like not as...
She actually does
Yeah.
respect him and as the emissary, and he actually does utilize that title in this episode, in the sense that he approaches giving them advice from both perspectives and what's best for them. So yeah, I do agree that she's not, super evil, but I think that just knowing what we know about her, her piety is inauthentic.
Right.
And I think that that's what bothers me the most about Kai Wynn. But that's the B story. That's really this whole idea of the treaty or non-aggression pact with the Dominion and Bajor, which comes to fruition in the next episode, is really the kind of the sub story. It's like setting up the finale next week. But the adventure that Nog and Jake go on, and I love it that Nog has squirreled away 5 bars of latinum, and it's under his bed, which is kind of funny that Quark says what realizes it under his bed, and then he says it, and he's like, oh, if you know where it is, oh gosh, like I better hide it somewhere else. But I love how Jake convinces Nog to use this money, and the way that he does it is that he plays on Nog's predilection to want to please Captain Sisko.
Right. It was a total guilt trip.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think that that's what I enjoyed. One of the scenes that I enjoyed the most is when Jake is sort of manipulating Nog into this very slowly, very smartly. He knows how he feels about his dad, so it's just kind of funny to see him play that out. So I really I think that that's one of the more enjoyable scenes of this episode. Also, when they meet Dr. Greer, or when he invites them to his quarters.
Geiger,
sorry.
It's okay.
I couldn't think of his name, so I wrote down Greer. But Geiger, I was like, this whole scene and how it plays out, and they're like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
But we both agree that he is. It's just like there's a lot of comedic touches to this. It is, like you said, lighthearted, but it's also like it's sort of like a little. It's not a mini heist, but it's sort of
it's
like
kind of a little bit.
It's got that like element of being a heist, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And just the way they go back and forth, and like, this guy's crazy, but yeah, we need that card, so we'll do it. So there's that piece, and then suddenly, things, when they get him some of the parts and like he powers up more things, that's when the Jem'Hadar and Wei Yun become interested in what's going on here, which is sort of like left ambiguous at the end of the episode. Like, what happens to all of that doesn't, you don't know what happens to it.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, foregone conclusions that, they must have taken it. I mean, it's clearly not on Deep Space Nine anymore. It's on the Jem'Hadar ship. So yeah, it's just a really fun episode and really enjoyable, and seeing them go throughout the station and help out the rest of the crew in order to get all of these little pieces and parts so that they can eventually get the baseball card. And how they get it is just kind of hilarious.
It's so roundabout.
Yeah. Who knew that Wei Yun was sort of that generous to like give them the card at the end of the episode? So those are some of the standouts for me. What about you? What did you think of this episode?
You
chose this episode.
I did. I really like this episode because there are a few aspects of it that I'm a big fan of. So first of all, it kind of, and you kind of touched on this, but it totally reminds me of first of all, the A plot, B plot is very much, it reminds me of Lower Decks, the TNG episode, where you have a focus on what would usually be the B plot, like something more silly, like, I don't know. Like, there's always a joke about, like, Data and Jordy go on their, like, weekly hijinks or something, except that this is the focus of the episode. And meanwhile, you have this big thing, at least in Lower Decks, there's this big thing in the background where it was, like, I think it was a Cardassian defector or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
In this case, it was Bajor potentially being courted by the Dominion to sign a non-aggression pact, which potentially could mean, Bajor eventually becoming Dominion territory. So it was like, usually that would be the A plot, but in this case, that was the B plot.
Yep.
And instead, the A plot was the hijinks of Jake and Nog trying to get this baseball card and everything that they do to get to actually get it. I really liked that it's like the inverse of what we usually get. And I think that the other thing that I really liked about this episode is it, again, kind of showcases the relationship between Jake and Ben Sisko, which honestly is one of my favorite father-son pairings of Star Trek. And we don't get that a lot. We don't. I don't even remember. I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't even know like what other ones we like.
Worf
basically,
and
parent-child relationships. Like
Yeah.
we have some of that, but this is definitely one of the most fleshed out parent-child relationships that we get.
Yeah.
In Star Trek, and it's just like such a strong, healthy relationship where there's just
Single
like this,
dad.
single dad. They both respect each other as two individuals, and here Jake is just going above and beyond to kind of just cheer up his dad. And it was just really funny because he was getting really fixated, like because Nog was like, "You are going crazy. You're going out of deep end." The amount of how roundabout it got, the amount of lying. Like how far they were willing to go to get this baseball card. Because I totally relate, because sometimes I fixate on things, and sometimes when I fixate on things, like it starts to snowball a little bit. That can happen to me, where I go to like incredible lengths to, and this has happened with...
To get something for your fish tank.
Yeah, exactly. So...
coral.
Exactly. So I've gone, to great lengths. Like I'll go out to the middle of like Queens, like somewhere, and meet someone in a parking lot to get like a piece of coral,
a clownfish or whatever,
to get a piece of coral, or usually not fish, but usually it's coral.
Yeah.
I've gone to parking lots. I've gone to people's basements, like just to like get
you have done some scary things to get,
and
for this.
It's just funny, here it's just. It really showcases how... I think at the end of the day, it's a little funny, but at the end of the day, it just showcases how much Jake loves his dad. And I think that is something that... Because at the end, Ben really appreciates it, and then they hug, like, oh, like, it's so sweet, he really does, lift his spirits at the end, so...
And inadvertently, they've lifted almost everyone else's spirits through this process.
Yeah, so it was like that, like, it was kind of silly, but also feel good. And I think, to what you were saying earlier, there's just really great comedic timing in this episode. And I think Star Trek is not, other than Lower Decks, it's not particularly funny.
Right.
But I think DS9 does, like, out of all, like, the series, like the more serious, quote unquote serious series, probably does humor the best.
Yeah.
Because TNG, I don't even remember like that many funny episodes really. I mean, there were a couple, but it probably was more like by accident than like really purposely funny. Voyager, there were a couple like some of the holodeck shenanigans or whatever, with like Captain Proton or whatever. There was a little bit of that. I'm trying to think if there are any in like Enterprise, maybe.
Not a ton of...
not a lot. But, like, I think DS9, as serious as of a show it is, of a series it was, it also just did comedic timing when they want to do it really well. And this is just one of those examples where, you know, like you just have like an interesting setup, eccentric characters. Like Dr. Geiger, he was just like crazy. He was crazy.
Yeah, just
like
so weird.
soulless minions of orthodoxy. I was just
Yeah.
like, what is happening? It was just like, you know, it was just like a good formula for just humor.
And actually, speaking of that soulless group or whatever he calls it,
Soulless minions of orthodoxy.
there we go. That was again one of those moments where I was like, did I miss something? Is that a callback to another episode?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think. Yeah, but it's one of those moments where I did kind of question that though.
And his cellular regeneration and entertainment chamber.
yeah,
He was just so
you
eccentric.
die because
Yeah.
your cells get bored of doing
Yeah.
the same thing that they were created to do over and
over and over again. Just so bored.
Yeah.
It was just so. He was such a wackadoo, and I kind of just liked that. Like he was, you know, this eccentric mad scientist. So yeah, there was just. I thought there was just a lot going on in this episode, and Jadzia though was glaringly absent. She was just not, for some reason, just not in this episode at all. She was not at the senior staff dinner, and she wasn't, you know, one of the people that Jake,
helped out, yeah.
Jake and
Right.
Nog helped out. So I don't know why. Maybe they couldn't fit her in or something.
Yeah.
But this was just a great character episode. It did move the overall plot forward because of the whole B plot
Right, which
with the
is-
Dominion.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, overall, I just really enjoyed this episode because
We
again,
do.
it was just funny.
Yeah, and we do have some. I mean, I think one of the funniest scenes also is the Wei-Yun, like beaming them aboard and then coming in and like sitting behind the desk and like just the way that whole thing played out. And
Jeffrey Combs is so good in everything. by
he
the
really
way.
is.
He's just like
so good.
yeah.
he-
just call it. Shout out to Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, absolutely. And it eventually does give them the card, but more importantly, like the story, like the funny part of this is the story that Jake tells Wei-Yun. He
And
tells
Nog
him
is
that-
like, oh my god, like what are we getting ourselves into?
Yeah, exactly.
Poor
Nog's like-
Nog. He just gets dragged into it.
Yeah. You know, and also being a Starfleet cadet, this potentially puts him into a lot of trouble.
Right. No, I felt bad for him when Jake, you know, when well, first of all, after Jake accuses Kai Wynn of stealing and kidnapping or something like that, and Ben Sisko is like, "What did you guys do?" And then and then Jake was like, "Oh, we were drunk." And then Nog was like, "What are you talking about?" And then, of course, Jake had to keep everything a secret. And then Ben got so mad at them. I felt really bad for Nog.
Yeah.
But Nog was a good friend.
Yeah, you know, I think that this also shows their friendships from the, you know, this. I love seeing a character like Nog who has been with the series since episode 1
Yeah.
as a secondary character, and it's just evolved, and their friendship has really evolved through, at this point, 5 seasons. So I think that's one of the beauties of, you know, again, we say this all the time, but the secondary cast of Deep Space Nine is as good, if not better in some cases, than the main cast at times.
Well, it's a whole tapestry of great cast members.
Yeah, it really is. You know, and I mean, yeah, I'm not saying detrimental things against the main cast, but I think that the main cast shines because the secondary cast was also so brilliant and gave them all foils and other characters to play off of
Yeah.
that actually helped them grow their own characters. So I think it's just another great example of all that. And in the end, you know, it does kind of, you know, does give that example of a great father-son relationship at the end.
Yeah.
Where they just hug it out, and it does actually cheer him up. And then you hear Sisko's, I don't know if it's a log or just an overview.
Yeah, it's a log.
It was a log.
Yeah.
But how everyone, you know, O'Brien's going to
His kayaking.
Kayaking. What is Bashir doing?
He
I
gets his
forget.
teddy bear back.
Oh,
Kukulaga.
oh yes, he gets the teddy bear back. Which that is the only creepy scene in that whole thing.
Oh yeah, Nog
Stealing the teddy bear
from
Leela.
From her quarters when she's sleeping.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a little weird.
Yeah, very weird. But I guess, So there's that. What else do they do?
Well, Kira gets a good speech to the agricultural committee.
That's right. And
Worf gets his opera.
Music.
Yeah.
That's right.
His opera's fine-tuned to the Defiant sound system or something.
Yep.
Yeah,
so it's just, it's great to see all of that. And you're right, it is a nice, lighter episode before the penultimate, or the finale, which brings a lot of change to Deep Space Nine. So, yeah, great episode overall. I mean, I don't know, is there anything else you can think of that you want to say about it?
No, I mean, there's a lot going on in this episode, but I think we talked about most of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Great.
Another, I would say, again, underappreciated in the sense that it was not, Call to Arms or whatever else is in season 5. There's a lot of
Trials and Tribulations is in season 5.
Yeah,
there's a lot in there.
There's a lot in there for sure.
But I also think people probably skip over in the cards.
Yeah,
to some extent, and jump to, if they're doing a rewatch, they might get a little bored with like the hijinks of this episode if they're kind of in that getting ready for the Dominion War type piece,
right?
That's coming up in the finale. So, but yeah, definitely, probably less appreciated than it should be, and it's a great episode, and this one stands alone a little bit more than some of the other ones. Mm-hmm. This one you could jump in and get an idea. Even if you've watched the first season or parts of the first season of Deep Space Nine and you've never watched any more, you could actually watch this episode out of order.
You get the gist that there's like this like war brewing. There's people are stressed out.
Yep.
You don't need that much context for this one.
Which is another great reason that this is a good episode. So awesome.
Cool.
Friends, please come in. Sit, please. I gave the rest of the crew the evening off to recuperate, but I asked all of you here because we work most closely and have not had a moment. In fact, we have lost quite a few. Almost every culture has a ritual that gathers its moments when it can, holds them dear. A time to take the measure of loved ones and what we have all accomplished together. We made a choice a millennium ago to follow Commander Burnham. I will never forget what I heard as I stood before each of you as you cast your vote. It was not unlike a small prayer. I ask that we repeat that now.
Must we really?
Yes, we must. Lieutenant Detmer, do you remember what you said?
I said I.
I said I.
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 I, sir.
I.
I never said I. But I'm here.
I.
Hi everyone, Mike here. This past Tuesday, Star Trek Discovery Season 3 arrived on Blu-ray, DVD, and limited edition Blu-ray Steelbook, with over 2 hours of special features including producer interviews, writer's logs, and behind-the-scenes moments. And you can win a copy of it along with a special Season 3 poster by checking out the post on our Instagram and Twitter pages, which is at Deep Space Pride. You have until Saturday, July 24th to enter, and we'll randomly select 3 winners then. Deep Space Pride was also lucky enough to receive an offer for an interview with actor Doug Jones, who plays Captain Saru. So I took the time while on vacation to speak with Doug, who is an absolute pleasure to talk with. This was a phone interview, so the quality isn't the best, and the interview cuts in just after I explained to Doug that Dennis and I had arrived the night before in Hawaii after almost 24 hours of traveling.
I also told him that I was speaking to him on our hotel roof deck overlooking Waikiki. So listen in.
At Waikiki Beach right now, and I'm talking to Doug Jones. So thank you so much for taking the time today.
Well, thank you for letting me be a part of this lovely scenario you just painted. It's okay.
Well, and first of all, I'm one of the co-hosts of Deep Space Pride, a gay Star Trek podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we started this podcast. We're up to episode 42, and we started it during the pandemic. And so that's sort of been our Star Trek adventure. But what about you? How have you and your family and loved ones been during this pandemic time?
Yeah, plodding through, going through our waves of anxiety here and there, as people do, but still, I think finding hope and looking to the future with hope in our hearts that things will get better, and they have been. And we've been adapting, and I mean, just the fact that we're back at work on season 4 of Star Trek Discovery, with health protocols in place and going through some extra measures, but still getting the job done. It's like, okay, then we can continue with life. I think we can.
Yeah, you've been out there since November, or I mean, probably on and off. But
no, I've been more on than off. Yeah, I because of the border, crossing the border, with it was problematic during the COVID time. So it was just, once you're here, you stay here. So I've been here for a long time.
Wow. Well, how has filming been going? How has life been up there with the cast and crew?
Yeah, it's a little different. A little different this year, just because even when we're on set and we're all tested 3 times a week, and so it's kind of like you're pretty safely proven that you're all negative. But at the same time, we still have to mask and distance, and so and being a cast of people who hug each other and who and are very, very demonstrative of love and affection for each other. It does kind of dampen the spirit a little bit to have to keep a distance from people. Unless you're filming in a scene together, and then the minute that's over, you got to mask up again. So that's been an extra step that hasn't been fun. But by the same token, if that's how we get the job done, then we have to be okay with it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's interesting that you bring that up, because I see the Star Trek Discovery crew and as a family, and that's sort of, I know we're talking because the DVD set of season 3 is coming out. So, what part do you think Saru and yourself as Doug Jones play in that family aspect of, and that creation of family? We've seen the crew go 1,000 years in the future with just the 80 or so of them, and they're forced to build a family. And how do you see that playing out, or how have you been a part of that?
Right. Well, when it's decided that Saru will be named captain of the Starship Discovery, and by episode 3, I think we come to that conclusion. He takes on the role not just of captain in an official capacity, but also as a father figure to the crew. He feels that way. He's an emotional nurturer, and so I've loved that aspect of the show where I look at everybody as my responsibility emotionally, as well as duty wise, and then the sub families that form with me or under my command are also lovely to watch and see. All the relationships sprouting around the ship, and with the addition of Adira, played by Blue Del Barrio. Once Blue comes in, or Adira comes in, they kind of get taken in by Culber and Stamets as a little chosen family there. So there are sub families that form, but the whole crew of Starship Discovery is one big family, and all we have is each other. We've come to the future, like you said, 930 years ahead. We don't fit in. We have each other. All we have is each other, and we really need to rely on each other. And I think that kind of reflected the world that we're in as well, too. Is I think through pandemic and social unrest of the last 18 months, that we our chosen family, our natural family, our friends, those who are close to us, have become more important, and nostalgia has become more important, and what's important in life has risen to the top. So I think that our show absolutely reflects that.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's interesting because I'm going to be talking on my podcast live this Sunday with the Women at Warp IDIC podcast festival about that very subject, and about how Adira and Stamets and Culber formed that family, a chosen family, and hopefully Gray will get to be a part of that in season 4. What was one of your favorite scenes or episodes from season 3?
Well, season 3, I had a real pleasure and honor and terror of Saru going into a hollow program and becoming human. So I think by the end of the season, you'll see a couple episodes where, the hollow program that we walk into, everybody changes species. So that means all the humans have turned into a Trill and a Vulcan and a Borg. And then I turn into a human. So that means that I had to channel all that was Saru into my own real face, and that was like, wow, that felt rather exposed and rather I felt rather naked. I've played many humans over the years in various film and TV, but I had never played Saru as a human, so that was a bit terrifying to me. But I think we pulled it off, and I even had to sing a Kelpian lullaby with my real face, which is also even more terror. When you've got singers on our show like Anthony Rapp and Wilson Cruz who've done Broadway, and then I'm the one who has to sing for a second time on the show, really? It's really intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because there's this rumor, or I don't know, it's probably a fan-created rumor, that people want to see a musical episode of Discovery in season 4. Can you shed any light on that, or is that fan created, or is that something that is internally being discussed as something?
No, I think it has been fan suggested, but Alex Kurtzman, our one of our head guys that oversees the show, he I believe he did an interview where he said he would like to see a musical episode, perhaps maybe one of those a short track again, where we look into a special little episode. I think he mentioned that in an interview, and whether I'm not sure. So again, this is above my pay grade to even go there.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. That's I forgot that he had mentioned that. That's awesome. Yeah. Speaking of the people that you work with, like, who's your favorite director to work with?
Well, I don't think any. We switch out directors every episode, so it's we go through so many, and we meet and love so many. I adore Lee Rose. She's directed several episodes over our seasons with us, and she's very efficient, and very quick, and very smart with actors. But I think every director of our show will understand why we all adore and love Jonathan Frakes so much. He's directed so many episodes for us, and when he comes on set, not only is he a bundle of joy, just an absolute extroverted bundle of joy, he also gets us. I mean, he, having been an actor in a Star Trek series himself, he understands everything that we're going through, and he if there's a moment that we're missing or that we need to tweak our performance, he knows exactly how to get us there. He is absolutely brilliant with us. And I think every other director will understand why he might be a favorite of ours.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Is there anything that you haven't done or that you would like to explore with Saru that you haven't done so far?
Well, I've said before that I would love to see maybe some romance for Saru. And what form or shape would that come in? We have no idea. But in season 3, and you'll find this out on the DVD box set, there is a character that makes his heart go a little pitter patter, and that would be the Vulcan president, or the president of Navarre now, which used to be Vulcan,
right?
Which is a Vulcan lady named President Tarina, And so he kind of like, you can tell he tilts his head and thinks about possibilities with her, and she kind of, in her very non-emotional kind of way, might hint at a flirt back. You're not quite sure. So
Right, yeah.
I would love to see more of that for him, and with that particular character. I think they're well suited for each other. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah, that's I just watched the first half of the season again in kind of preparation for possibly interviewing you or Anthony, and I remember seeing the looks, the chemistry between the two of you. So that's exciting. Well, I know we're running out of time, and I really appreciate speaking with you today. Are you going to be in Las Vegas next month for the 55-year mission tour?
I am so sad to report that I had to cancel because we are still. I'm still here filming the end of season 4. So I'm not going to be able to make it. I think I'm not sure if Sonequa Martin Green is able to. She might be able to fly in for a day of it, but the rest of us that are currently filming can't. So. Which was a bummer because we were supposed to be done by now, but because of our stops and starts with COVID this year, our season got extended a little bit. Gotcha. So originally I was going to be there, and I was looking forward to it. So I've missed 2019, and of course we all missed 2020. So but dang it! But there are other conventions that are not Trek specific conventions that I'll be doing this year, and in Louisiana and Florida and Ohio, Indiana, Michigan. So I'll be making the rounds.
Okay. All right. Well, my co-host and I are going to Las Vegas for the first time, so we're excited about that. And we were hoping to meet you in person, but we'll save it for another year, hopefully.
Yes, and there will be huggles when that happens. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Anything. Any tidbit or anything from season 4 that you can tease us with?
Well, kind of no, since we're not even done filming it yet. But I can tell you that at the end of season 3, Captain Saru kind of relinquishes his chair to Captain Burnham now.
Right. Yes.
And then the last time you see me in the season, I am back on my home planet of Kaminar, helping young Sukal find his way with the Kelpians. So what happens from there? That's the big question: is where does Saru fit in next season? I had to call Michelle Paradise, our showrunner, myself to see if I was even still in the show. She said,
"Oh my goodness,
yes, you are." So wow. So she, they assured me that I am, but Starfleet does not strip one of their captain rank. So I still have captain status with Starfleet, but where do they plug me in and how do they utilize me? That's what's yet to be explored in season 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe we'll see you on this bridge of one of those beautiful new 32nd century starships that are gorgeous visually from the visual effects team.
Right. Well, it's anyone's guess.
That's true. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today, Doug. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and I really look forward to meeting you in person someday in the future.
Me too, you. And in the meantime, you enjoy that warm, balmy weather in Hawaii. Okay.
All right, I will. Take care, Doug.
Okay. Big love. Bye-bye.
Well, I think that about does it for this week's episode. Mike, do you want to talk a little bit about our sponsor?
Sure. Everybody knows that Fansets is our sponsor for the Trek Geeks Podcast Network and for Deep Space Pride. Just to share a couple of new pins that came out July 1st. And there are more coming out on July 15th. I think more of this anniversary collection. Now, you can get the whole anniversary collection as one set, but if you only want a couple of pins, then you have to wait. They're slowly releasing them throughout the summer. So July 1st, they released the 35th anniversary Star Trek 4 pin and the 30th anniversary of the Undiscovered Country pin.
Is the Star Trek 4 one a whale?
It is not. It is the Klingon bird of prey. So the main feature of each of these, besides the title of the film and the number of years, is a ship.
Okay.
So they do have...
I want my whale.
the Star Trek Beyond 5-year pin, which they released earlier or back in June, has the Franklin as their pin.
I don't
as the ship on
Star
the
Trek
pin.
5. I don't remember. Star Trek 5.
No, Star Trek Beyond.
Oh, Star Trek Beyond.
It's 5 years since Star Trek
Oh,
Beyond.
I totally misheard you.
Yeah, no,
Oh, dear.
no. And then the original Enterprise is on the 55 years Star Trek anniversary pin.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can get all of those. So you can buy them individually, or if you buy them all together, it becomes a 7-pin set because you get this special Enterprise on a like red, yellow, and blue background. It's actually really, I like the artwork that they used for this.
It's a lot of pins.
It is a lot of pins, but it's a nice set, and you can get that for $59.95. And if you use the code DS Pride, you can save 10% off of that, and it will ship for free in the US.
Right.
So 2 bonuses there. But if you only like a couple of the pins, you can get them as they slowly come out throughout the summer. But definitely check out Fansets. Support them. They support us and the Trek Geeks Podcast Network. And we thank Fansets for being our sponsor.
Thanks, Fansets. Cool. All right. Well, that's another one for the books. Mike, how can our listeners find us on digital mediums?
Sure. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Deep Space Pride, or you can send us an email. We'd love to hear from you and tell us some of your underappreciated episodes of Deep Space Nine at deepspacepride@gmail.com.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We will talk to you all soon.
See you next week.
Bye.
Deep Space Pride is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com, or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.
Coconut.